What's going on, people? Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV and another episode of the Premier League SPUR-SPECTIVE, where we take a look at the weekend's games, review them, and we also have our predicted scores from the Predict the Prem, which is 5 points for a correct scoreline, 3 points for a correct result, and both teams to score 1 point for a correct result. And also the Star Man, which is 2 points for a goal and 1 point for an assist. We both got 0 points on the Star Man this week. We both picked Harry Kane.
Should we get -1 for a yellow card?
Yeah.
How it works.
But the scores at the moment are 30 points to Simeon, 25 to me. So let's see what happens this week. The first game was Manchester City against Arsenal. Finished 5-0 to Man City. I went 3-0 and you went 3-0.
Yeah. Underestimated how bad Arsenal are, I think. Even we did.
Literally. Man City just tore them to shreds, didn't they?
Completely.
Arsenal were never in the game. 2-0 after 10 minutes. And after Xhaka got sent off, it was just pretty much just a case of how many, wasn't it?
Pretty much. And it was total domination. Arsenal, I remember right at the beginning of the game, we're like, okay, they're in this game. But then they conceded within 10 minutes. Within 12 minutes, they're 2-0 down. Game over, and then Xhaka loses his head, which often happens with Arsenal when they're getting outplayed or beaten heavily. They kind of lose their heads and lose their discipline, and usually someone gets a red card. And then after
Xhaka.
Yeah, and after the red card, it was training game. It was an absolute training game. 18% possession they had throughout the game.
Mad.
Arsenal only one shot throughout the whole game. Aubameyang said after the game he needs to have a chat with the whole squad because they need to improve their standards and everything. This chat should have been
now, yeah.
As I'd say, this chat should have been happening a long time ago. But Arsenal, bottom of the league, no goals scored, 3 defeats, and I'm here for it. I'm here every second for it. Loving the start of this Premier League season at the moment. But look, great day for City. They played well. Not amazing, even though they won 5-0. It's hard to imagine saying that, but Arsenal were just that bad.
They really were. And it could have been a lot more than 5. That's the honest truth. I mean, towards the last 20 minutes, half an hour, yes, Man City was still scoring goals, but they kind of took their foot off the gas, didn't they?
They kind of took it easy on Arsenal.
And they were still scoring.
Yeah, unbelievable. And if it wasn't for Leno, could have been a lot more as well.
Yeah, he made some great saves. So that makes it 33-28 to Sim as we move over to Villa against Brentford, which finished 1-1. Sim getting it absolutely spot on with 5 points. And I went for 2-1 to Villa, so I get 0 points there.
I'm actually disappointed in a way because if you would have been right, I could have won an accumulator. Unfortunately, so Villa actually stopped me losing. But look, I'll take the 5 points. That's what it's all about. But I thought I was watching part of this game. Obviously, there was a lot of games going on, so I was keeping my eye on all of them. I couldn't watch all of them. But Villa, I think late on were unlucky not to win it. They had a few chances late in the game. But Brentford again, I don't know if you saw that controversial moment in the first half.
I didn't see anything from this game, unfortunately.
So Martinez has the ball and he throws it up to volley it, and one of the Brentford players, I can't remember which one it was, he pinches it off Martinez while he's about to kick it and he put it in the empty net, and the referee ruled it out because that counts apparently when the ball was mid-air and he's about to kick it, it counts as still being in the keeper's possession.
Right.
But even Ivan Toney getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's finally in the goals in the Premier League, gets his account open.
And there's Buendia as well.
Yeah, and Buendia. And, he carried on from last season. Apparently, he scored a great goal against Brentford last season for Norwich. So I think that, look, Brentford, they've won 1. They've won 1, drawn 2. And I think that they'll be happy with that start of the season going into the international break unbeaten. And
it shows as well, Villa still got a lot of work to do. They did struggle quite a bit in this game. And draw. So despite spending all that Grealish money, still a bit of adjusting to do early doors to get the team right.
And that opens up a 10-point gap very early on in the season for you, Sim. 38-28 as we move over to Brighton against Everton. Sim, your second team, Brighton.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, you always predicted them to win and always having a love and affair with Potter.
I do like Brighton.
They are your second team, I think. Not self-proclaimed, but I'm going to proclaim it.
You're going to proclaim my second team, okay.
1-1 I went for. You went for 1-0 to Brighton. It finished 2-0 to Everton.
Fair play. It's a good result for Everton. That's impressive. Especially Damari Gray. Don't know what he's turned into. Some sort of goal scoring.
What a goal as well.
Great goal. And he's turned into a real player all of a sudden, early doors. He's starting every game and he's really contributing for them. And obviously, big bonus at the moment. Looks like Richarlison staying. PSG are holding firm on Mbappe, so it doesn't look like, and he's obviously started this game as well. And Calvert-Lewin, I'm going under radar a bit, but 3-3 for him now.
Yep.
So fair play to Everton, and good to start under life under Benitez at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Calvert-Lewin's kind of started this season how he started last season, didn't he? So look, good for him, good for England. And we move on. No one gets a point in that game. We both predicted that completely wrong as we move over to Newcastle against Southampton. Now, this is the one which I was very annoyed about. I went for 2-1 to Newcastle. You went to 2-1 to Southampton. And it finished,
I said 2-0, yeah, not 2-1. Yeah.
2-0 to Southampton. And it finished 2-2 with Southampton getting a last minute goal. Was it James Ward-Prowse right in the last minute? Oh my God, I was gutted. 5 points were coming my way.
Newcastle also scored in stoppage time, so 2 stoppage time goals.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going your way. At 1 sec, I was like, oh God, stoppage time, it's dead. And then somehow, nowhere, Ward-Prowse pulled out of the bag and ended up grabbing a point. So both teams continue their winless start to the season. Although Southampton, maybe they feel maybe a point away at Newcastle and a point at home to United is not the end of the world for them, with Armstrong again winning the penalty late on and looking decent so far, early doors for Southampton. So I think there is some life in Southampton. They might be still involved in the near the bottom of the table, but I reckon they'll have enough to stay up, in my opinion. But Newcastle, with St. Maximin in his new role, was giving Southampton so many problems. He's loving the new role up front. St. Maximin, he's doing really well, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them.
Yeah. So no points for each of us there as we move over to Norwich against Leicester. You went 1-1. I went 1-0 to Leicester, so I gain a point there. It finished 2-1 to Leicester. What did you make out of this one?
Yeah, again, it was a close game as I thought it would be. And Norwich very close to grabbing a point. They also at 2-1 had a goal ruled out for offside, which were very unlucky because it was one of those where it was a header from a corner, went straight in. But because Campbell was standing in an offside position, they ruled it out, even though he wasn't. You could argue he was interfering. He was quite near Kasper Schmeichel, so I guess you could argue he was interfering. It was one of those where it was irrelevant because Schmeichel was never saving it, so it didn't actually have an effect on the goal. It was unlucky, but it was the right decision, obviously. But Norwich were unlucky. They nearly got the point out of this, but fair play to Leicester. Got 2 goals. Vardy as well, continuing his early start. Again. So it's a good win for them.
Yeah, it is a good win for them. The one blot in Leicester's kind of season so far, Sionchu. Don't know what's happened to him, but he seems to be really off the boil this season.
Didn't have a great Euros either, so he has to. Obviously, he had a great season last season, but maybe I don't know. He's
with all their defensive injuries. He's the one that really needs to step up.
Yeah, he needs to regain his form, but. Leicester will be delighted with the win after getting battered last week. They had to kind of recover from that.
Yeah. So I gain a point there. It's 38 to Sim, 29 to me as we move over to West Ham against Palace, which finished 2-2. You went 2-0 to West Ham. I went for 1-1. So I gain 3 points there. 32 points to me, 38 to Sim. I had a feeling about this one. I thought it was going to be a draw, as I predicted, and it was. I mean, West Ham scoring a lot of goals, but they ended up conceding quite a few today. On Saturday.
And that'll be a big blow for them. A big blow because they would have seen this as a really great opportunity to go 3-3 wins, start the season really strongly. And I think, just before the international break, the fact they gave it up, maybe we'll put a bit of dampener in the camp, just giving up 2 leads. Great, the second goal as well, brilliant goal from Conor Gallagher on the turn and finish on loan from Chelsea. Was a great finish from him. So they'll be
from Chelsea, is he?
Yeah, Conor Gallagher.
Where was he on loan last year?
West Brom.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he scored a couple. Really, second goal was really good. Boy. Yeah, he's on loan from Chelsea. So Antonio, though, a goal and assist again. 4 goals, 4 assists after 3 games.
He's absolutely on fire.
Not even just Premier League. You could obviously say, you could argue he's an informed player in Europe right now. 4 goals and 4 assists in 3 games. That's incredible. Incredible start from Antonio.
That's the same. Didn't Harry Kane have similar stats at the beginning of last season?
Yeah, he was starting the season really strongly, wasn't he? Looks like it was going to be a great start, but unfortunately they couldn't hang on to it. And once European football kicks in after the international break, we'll see how they really cope once they have to use their squad.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. 38-32 to Sim. Liverpool against Chelsea, which was probably earmarked as the game of the weekend. It finished 1-1. Sim getting it absolutely spot on. Another 5 points goes Simeon's way this week. I went for 1-0 to Chelsea. And I believe if Reece James never got sent off, it would have finished 1-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think he was unlucky, but I think it was the right decision.
I think it was the right decision.
It was unlucky,
though. It was a very dangerous challenge.
No, it was a handball.
Sorry. Oh, I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of Pogba's.
Where
he didn't get sent off. But the handball on the line. Like, look, if you're going to give the penalty, you have to give the red card.
Unfortunately, I think. No, I don't think that's necessarily true, because I think if Reece James just keeps his arm still like that, I think it's still a penalty, but I don't think it's a red.
But his arm moved up like that.
It moved. I know, but the reason I feel sympathy is because I don't think he meant to move it. It was just kind of like a
natural
instinctive reaction. But unfortunately, the referee isn't going to be able to tell between instinct and what he means to do. And if you look at the video, he seems his arm move like that away when the ball's going in.
I thought it was the right decision.
He has to give the red. He has no choice. He has no choice. He's unlucky, but that was the only controversial moment. And you know what, Liverpool, they should be very disappointed how they performed in the second half. Because Chelsea are a great team. Even against 10 men, they're obviously still a great team, and they're going to be hard. But they barely troubled Chelsea in that second half. And when you're Liverpool and you've got a chance against a title rival who down to 10 men, you've got to force the issue against them and score the winner. They'll be disappointed with how easy Chelsea had it in that second half. Salah, Mane, Jota didn't really do much.
And I felt that as the game wore on, it was more increasingly likely that Chelsea were going to get the next goal. They did break through a couple of times,
Lukaku
late in that second half. So I thought Chelsea were good for that result. I think Chelsea, if the red card didn't come, I believe Chelsea would have won that.
Yeah, Chelsea, it was a great game, actually, especially the first half. And Liverpool pressing, but Chelsea looked controlled and composed. And when they took the lead, it wasn't like a big shock. But Liverpool were in the game, but they didn't really force enough good chances out of Chelsea, and especially in that second half.
But it's very impressive second half performance from Chelsea.
Really impressive, and that shows their title credentials.
Definitely. And you see Tuchel going absolutely nuts at the official after the penalty.
Yeah, I saw that. It's brilliant.
All right, let's move over to Burnley. Oh, first of all, the score is 43-32 to Sim. Even more of a gap now, but Burnley Leeds finished 1-1 as well. I went for 3-1 to Leeds. You went for 3-1 to Burnley?
I went for 2-0.
Oh, you went 2-0. It says
Leeds.
3-1 on there, but you went 2-0. Yeah. But neither of us getting any points there. But Leeds will be very disappointed with themselves, won't they?
Yeah. I think that Burnley needed to have a strong game in this one because of their horrible start to the season so far. 2 losses. So I think it's a good point for them. 2 scrappy goals. Well, obviously, we were at the we were watching the Spurs game at the time, so we didn't really get to see it. But I've seen the goals, and you won't see 2 scrappier goals than these 2 goals. So Leeds will be disappointed, but it's a good point for Burnley. And going Turf Moor, these are the games where Burnley expect to pick up something. So it's a good point for them.
Leeds, I mean, they haven't won yet this season, have they?
They haven't won. No, they got battered by Man United.
Yeah.
And then who they played? I can't remember who they played.
I can't remember.
They drew to Everton.
That was it. 2-2 to Everton. And now drawing with Burnley. So a bad start to the season from Leeds, in my opinion. They would have expected to pick up more points at this stage.
It's bad, but it's not horrendous.
No. Tottenham against Watford finished 1-0 to Tottenham. I went 2-0. You went 3-1. Still keeping the clean sheets. So 3 points coming my way for this one. 1 point going your way for this one. In my opinion, it was just complete total domination from Spurs, and 2-0 probably should have happened, to be fair.
Yeah, it should have been 2-0. You should have got it spot on. Unfortunately, we didn't really have our shooting boots on the day. The only goal we did score was from a bit of luck after what was a good free kick from Son, but it was a bit of luck there. It went straight in. So look, clean sheets every game. I should have predicted it. I thought we were going to concede, but fair play to Spurs. Another solid win, another win by a goal. And a good performance.
Yeah, I mean, I really know my Spurs. Like, first week, I predicted us to beat Man City. Second week, I predicted 1-0, which it probably should have been 1-0. And this week, I predicted 2-0, which was 1-0, which probably should have been 2-0. So I'm I'm not doing badly with the Spurs results at the moment. But last one is Wolves against Manchester United. It finished 1-0 to Man United. You getting it absolutely spot on with 1-0. Another 5 points going your way. And I went for 2-1 to Man United. And yeah, obviously it finished 1-0. Goal from Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood saving Manchester United once again.
3-3, and my shout of him being Young Player of the Year. It's got a good start to that season.
Very good start.
But you got to say, Man United really didn't deserve that win. Again, like a bit similar to Spurs last week, really rode their luck, like even more than we did. Shot cleared off the line from Trincao, which Wan-Bissaka cleared off the line. David De Gea making one of the saves of the season early on from Saiss as well. Adama Traore was running them ragged and causing them all sorts of problems, but they just couldn't, for love nor money, get the ball in the back of the net. And I also think the goal should have been ruled out. I think it was a definite foul by Pogba.
Definitely.
I think what happened was, in defence of the officials, I couldn't see it on the replay. When I saw the initial replays, it looked like there wasn't much in it. There wasn't much in that challenge. But when you put in super slow mo, you see it's clear.
Studs up on the ankles.
You see his shin pad move across.
Sorry, not on the ankles, on his shins.
You see his shin pad move on the slow mo, and I think the referees maybe didn't take a close enough look at that when they were reviewing it. And he didn't even go to VAR on the sideline. So I think they got that one wrong. It was a definite foul by Pogba, and Wolves have a right to feel aggrieved.
Yeah, definitely. So that's 3 games now. Wolves have lost 1-0.
Yeah.
And in each of those 3 games, they deserved more than they got, which is crazy.
That was a shame for them because they play some really nice football and some really good stuff. That Trincao looks really tricky as well. I reckon
can't score a goal, though.
Yeah, but it's only 3 games in, so maybe he'll start scoring soon.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. That is this week's Premier League Spurs-Spective. Let me know what you think or what you have thought of the games in the comments section below. The scores this week finished 49 points to Sim, 36 points to me. What a gap already this early in the season, but there's definitely time to make this up, that's for sure. But look, we'll see what happens. There is a break for this series for the next 2 weeks, seeing as it is international break. But thank you for watching. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.